What is the achievement gap?
The achievement gap is the separation from our African American students and our African American youth to their counterparts, to their white counterparts. When there's an issue or some kind of disorganization between the education system, that they are failing our African American youth in comparison to our white youth, to their counterparts.
So you do feel that the achievement gap is an actual thing between blacks and whites?
Absolutely. The achievement gap is very obvious, especially where I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, and you can see just in the design of the schools, the books that students receive from the different schools. There is a racial separation. Although we say that segregation is not a thing anymore, there is a racial separation, no matter how much you want to try to cover it up.
So what do you think it stems from?
I believe it does stem from history and from us being an oppressed population, from African Americans being an oppressed population. I do believe that we are still living in a racist era where we believe that there is a white superiority. And I believe that it also does, stem from the education that we've had in the past.
So do you feel it's a major problem?
I do. Because if we have an achievement gap in the elementary years, in the middle school years, and the high school years, we will also have that achievement gap in the college years and also in the professional lifestyle. So it's going to be a continuous problem. And if you don't get the education that you need when you're younger, you're gonna feel that all throughout your life.
So do you think it's something that can be changed and ultimately eradicated?
Like everything else, I think it'll be a very slow process. And it can't be changed just by making laws. It can't be changed through policies. But what we can do is we can teach our youth to expect better. If we receive a textbook in our public school system that isn't up to par, we have to make our voices heard. We have to get action. We have to, have action. I think it is something that we can change, but I do believe it'll take a very long time.
So if you had to propose closing the gap, you would say it is by being involved and by being active?
By being very involved and getting active and making sure that we're all patient. It isn't something that will happen in a course of 5 years or maybe even 10, but I think if we educate our youth to be expectant of wonderful things and to understand what it is that we are lacking and to encourage people to understand that there is an achievement gap, if we know better and we believe better, we'll do better.
Okay. Do you know of any current programs that address or help to close the gap?
Except for a lot of community centers have tutoring. They have tutoring where they're being tutored by college students. And I'm a big fan of mentorship. So any program that involves mentorship of college students that give low-risk youth an opportunity to see that they can also go to college and they can also achieve something better than what their parents may have achieved. I think any program that's related to that is a wonderful program. I'm familiar with one in Norfolk, Virginia. It's the Brownington Outreach Center, and I actually tutor there over the summers. But it just gives them a different outlook on going to college and not just having other plans at the high school. So I think it's a really good program.
Okay, and this the last question you may have already answered is it something that you've seen in your day-to-day life experiences?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen it more in the more urban areas where we're living in a rural population here, but I've seen it more in rural areas where there is a racial split, where you can have 50% African American, 50% Caucasian population, but you can still see that there's a certain part of the neighborhood or a certain part of a city where the white people live versus the black people. But it is something that we can bring together, and and any kind of programming that actually raises our youth is something that's positive and it can help close the achievement gap.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.